Do you remember why you chose Android? It wasn't about the brand of the phone. It was about the philosophy, the freedom to tinker, the power to install whatever you wanted from wherever you wanted. It was the core belief that your phone was yours, just like you have a computer and you're able to install whatever you want on it. Sadly, that philosophy behind Android has been on life support for the last few years. And now Google is officially pulling that plug. The company is reportedly systematically killing the very thing that made Android so great. And they're trying to sell it to us as if it's a security feature. So, let's talk about how Google's new ID verification requirement has the potential to wipe out the sole reason why so many of us continue to use Android to this very day. For nearly 2 decades, Android's soul was its openness. The ability to sideload apps was not a bug, it was the entire point. It was the fundamental difference between a computer that actually fits in our pocket and some random gadget with a display. Well, as you can see, the reports seem to indicate that this difference is being erased. Google has just handed down a mandate that will fundamentally gut Android's identity. Starting next year, in 2026, they will force every single app developer, from massive companies all the way down to lone hobbyists. Google will require them to register and verify their identity directly to the Mountain View tech giant. If a developer refuses to comply, or for one reason or another they are unable to comply, then Google is going to block their app from being sideloaded on Android entirely. It simply will not be able to be installed on your phone. The choice that you used to have is no longer yours to make. Now, don't get me wrong. The PR spin does sound reasonable at first. Google is comparing this to an ID check at the airport. They're pushing statistics that sideloading apps are over 50 times more likely to contain malware, and claiming that this is the only way to deter bad actors and hold them accountable. But let's be clear, this has very little to do with preventing malware. We already have systems like that in place on Android. The first line of defense is blocking the sideload function entirely. The second line of defense is supposed to be Google Play Protect, right? An application that Google says is so vital to keeping our phones safe from malware that they're using it as a reason why it's pre-installed from the factory. But this new mandate from Google doesn't do anything to scan an app's code. This announcement essentially tells us that Google has given up on detecting malware with apps like Google Play Protect. This new mandate is about control. It's about building a registry of every developer so Google can grant permission and, more importantly, take it away. It's an act of pure condescension. Google is essentially telling its users, you've proven that you can't be trusted with freedom, so we're going to be taking that away for your own good. This mode is essentially going to transform sideloading on Android from a core function to a permission slip. It shackles open source projects and hobbyist developers to Google's ecosystem, destroying the option for anonymity and true independence. And you absolutely cannot ignore the timing of this power grab. Google just lost a massive antitrust case. The courts are demanding that they open the platform to real competition from third-party app stores. So just as they are legally being forced to open the front door, they're actually building a new, higher wall around the entire property. They are complying with the letter of the law while completely betraying its spirit, ensuring that no matter where you get your apps, they still have to bow to Google first. This is a seismic shift in Android's philosophy. So I have to ask you, what do you think? Do you think this is a necessary security measure just to protect users? Or is Google killing the soul of Android? Let me know your gut reaction in the comments section down below. So, you may be asking, how and when is this lockdown happening? The rollout begins in September 2026 for users in Brazil, Indonesia, Singapore, and Thailand, before the New World Order goes global in 2027. At that point, the open frontier of Android will be officially closed, fenced in by Google's new rules. So you can see there is a lot of time before now and then. And that gives us, the community, enough of a runway to start putting pressure on Google, to start putting pressure on your local lawmakers about this issue, since it seems as if Google is only willing to make a change when they are forced to do so by the law. Now is our time to do what we can to prevent this from happening, to stop Google from effectively killing what so many of us within the community have come to appreciate and even respect about Android. So now you know how Google is seizing control over what apps you can install and the potential ways that they will be able to block all sorts of apps, from apps that block ads to applications that emulate video game consoles. This move is aimed at peeling back the protections on our privacy, and many will agree that it has nothing to do with the added security at all. This is just the next thing after the Google Play Integrity API that burdens 95% of the innocent community just to try and stop the 5% that abuse the system. And they'll continue to abuse this system. These malicious actors will register fake names, stolen names, fake addresses, and stolen addresses. This mandate will not do anything to stop them. So, please give this video a like so YouTube knows it's important and they'll help spread it to more people. And then subscribe to the channel too for more in-depth Android content like this.